All right, I have to be mindful that there's a 6-second delay, but we are going to start on time. Still waiting the appearance of our special guest. She is on the way here. It takes about 10 or 12 minutes to get from her place to mine. So she'll be on time for her part of the presentation. There are some housekeeping tasks that I want to get through before we get started. And if I can get to OBS real quick, we're going to discuss a couple of things in this live stream. One's going to be the purpose of this live stream, again, and we'll start with that. The purpose of DIY fermentation in this particular live stream is basically to, let me go back to the big screen because I wish to be seen. It's basically to go over the evolution of DIY fermentation from its initial beginnings to its current state and possible future. When our special guest, who was our very first subscriber, arrives, I want to get her impressions on what she observed when the channel first started, and her impressions again of how the channel has progressed since the very beginning. Again, we are going to wait for several more people to show up, but let's see if I can do this real quick in OBS. Get back to the housekeeping screen. Again, I finally figured out the ins and outs of creating a Patreon account. This is in addition to the YouTube membership account. I think I prefer Patreon because it, unlike YouTube, it doesn't take as much of a healthy cut from the membership dues that YouTube does. So again, I do have 2 levels available over at Patreon, one for $3 and one for $9. There's really not much in addition you're getting from $9 that you're going to get from $3. It's just that you're just giving an additional level of support to help support this channel. There is a link, of course, that you see there, and there will be a link in the description section of this video, along with a lot of other verbiage that if you've got the time, you can go through. Number 3, since we're going through the list of housekeeping items, I've been noticing lately, actually I've been noticing since day one, that a number of viewers will watch a video and then will ask a question in the comment section regarding something totally different. I wish you guys wouldn't do that because the video is specifically questions or comments are directly related, should be directly related to that particular video. It helps cut down on a lot of me having to go off on a tangent to answer a question that's unrelated to that particular video. Again, I had turned on, as of the last live stream, I had turned on all of the comments for the previous videos, those videos that were 6 months or older. Again, I'll make mention of the fact that although I will acknowledge questions or comments of those particular videos, because I do read each and every comment, and I'm kind of, sort of. And by that, I mean that if I'm starting to see multiple paragraphs in the comment section, I'm kind of going to skim what's being written and see if there's a point to it at the end. But again, because the videos had been out for such a long time, it's sometimes difficult for me to backtrack and try and figure out just what it was that I did or what it was that I said in that particular video that might have been 6 months, a year and a half ago. So I will acknowledge the fact that you've left a comment since you took the time to write it, but I really can't devote a lot of time to answering a lot of questions on a much older video. Speaking of questions, sometimes I will get questions from viewers who are asking either highly technical winemaking questions or are just trying to find out if I know the answer as a way of testing me to find out if I'm knowledgeable in certain areas of winemaking. Again, even though I've been doing this for about a year and a half now, I'm not a professional winemaker. I'm a novice, okay? Still just a hobby. You guys have seen me from almost the very beginnings of my winemaking journey, starting from making wine in 2-quart containers, and I'll touch upon that again later on, to me making up to 2, sometimes 3 gallons of wine. Now, with that door being open, I hope it's a good person. Yes, it is. Our special guest has arrived. Take your time, get settled in. I'm just going through the housekeeping tasks, so you got a chance to decompress a little bit. Once again, for those of you who do not know, this is, for some of you, known as No. For some of you, it's Liz, and for some of us, fiance. All right. Now then, again, with the advanced winemaking questions, generally I won't really spend a great deal of time answering those questions. What will happen more than likely is that I will simply redirect the question to those channels that are more technically oriented winemaking channels. One, again, I have absolutely nothing to prove to anyone. I'm a novice. I freely admit it. I have nothing to prove or to show that I have more expertise than I do. Now, if I do know the answer to the question, more than likely I will still send you to one of the more technically oriented winemaking channels, because that's where the question more properly should reside. This channel, again, is for complete novices. Basically, people just getting started might want to touch upon some aspect of doing winemaking as a hobby, and I try and make it, although as diverse as I possibly can, I also make it as simplistic as I possibly can. And that's the focus of this channel. It's not to progress into something more advanced. It's designed to stay at a very, very simplistic level until you are ready to move on to a more advanced channel. Okay, number 5. As of last night, around midnight, just after midnight, I finally hit more than 8,000 subscribers. Actually, I tried to stay up to get to 8,000, but I dozed off for a hot second, and by the time I woke up, I was at 802. It's like, dang. I wanted to see the actual 8,000. But again, this channel is continuing to grow. I'm only 2,000 short of the 10,000 goal that I planned for this channel, and that should happen within the next 2 months or so, sometime in November. I'd like to thank everyone who has become a subscriber, and if you're not yet a subscriber, hey, it doesn't cost anything. Just click on the subscribe button and help this channel out. While we're on the subject of membership, of subscribers, I want to touch on the aspect of becoming a member to help support this channel, if I can do this properly. As of today, these are currently all of the members who are currently supporting this channel by becoming, again, members. One of them, gentleman, sir, is both a member of the YouTube membership program and became the very first Patreon member, which is where I'm trying to shift everybody in the future to become a member there. The perks are generally about the same. You are going to get advanced ad-free viewing of the videos that I'm going to put out. Usually at least a day, sometimes 2 or 3 days before I make them available to the public. Over on the Patreon side, you do get some of the outtakes. Having said that, some of the obscenity-filled outtakes that have occurred on this channel, I really do need to add more of those. But again, Patreon and memberships is not really designed to give you additional benefits and perks. It's more designed to give you an opportunity to help support this channel, which this channel, of course, really does need. Let's see. Of course, this channel does have an Instagram link. Finally clean that up a bit to the point where there's now a link listed in the community section, and also in the any of the videos. Well, I won't say that, since I just fixed it. Any of the newer videos, you'll find a link to the Instagram account in the description section below the videos. With that having been said, I have now completed the housekeeping task. Let me get back to the main screen, and let me get back to the YouTube side of the equation, and let's catch up on what's been going on. That is Hawaiian Punch.
I'll take it.
Normally there's tea in my cup, but I've decided that since I went to the store and got some Hawaiian Punch, which, just as an aside, it's one of those childhood memories from kindergarten they used to at lunchtime give us little small cups of Hawaiian punch, and for whatever reason, that has stuck in my mind. Every time I go to the store and decide, well, let me get some Hawaiian punch.
Tells you how long it's been around.
These days,
know.
I need the Hawaiian punch because I sometimes use those as substitutes for carboys. They work quite well, but nonetheless, when I see Hawaiian punch, my mind goes back to those childhood days. But I digress. Let me see some of the comments here before we get off into some of the more of the meatier aspects of this particular live stream. I can't scroll up for whatever reason to that first one about the muscadine grower, but I'm glad that my video was able to assist you with making muscadine wine. Again, just to clarify.
That is Kinfolk Farm.
Oh, I can't see that. How can you see that?
I'm good.
Yes, she is. Yeah, generally they specify anywhere from 2 to 5 pounds of muscadine grapes. In that particular video, I ended up using 2.5 pounds of muscadine grapes, and I've got another 2.5 pounds in the freezer, just in case they're needed for to make up the difference that I lose in rankings, or if I decide to do something else with the muscadine grapes. They freeze quite nicely, as with most berries. Let me make this a bit larger so that it's easier for us on this end to read. A bit too large. Or is it big enough? Bigger?
No, that's good.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right. Nomadic, I've given you already a little quick shout out. Thank you again for coming in from India. Appreciate that. Kinfolk from Georgia, happy Saturday. That might have significant meaning to Nono, who's still currently working Monday through Friday. But for those of us who are retired, every day is a Saturday, okay? It has no meaning whatsoever. Although that's about to change. I've decided to take a little part-time job temporarily to help clean up a few loose ends. But basically, yeah, when you retire, every day is a weekend. That's just how it works out. Michelle Eastman.
Hello, Michelle. How you doing?
Let's get this out your way. This was just a placeholder until you arrived.
You replaced me with a jug.
In case your arrival was delayed somewhat longer than I had anticipated, I could then devote some attention to that particular jug of, which, by the way, now that it's been brought up, you saw in my last video where I did a comparison between the wild yeast and commercial yeast. Well, I had two quart batches prepared. One was the first one that I did using the wild yeast, and then a week later I did the comparison video. I blended the two together and basically created 1 gallon, and that's pretty much how I'm going to handle that. Next time you see this will probably be in the 1 year wine tasting. But yep, that's where it stands. I was kind of surprised that the wild yeast ended up with a fairly significantly high ABV. I think it was 11.59%.
Cool.
When I stopped it. If I'd added more sugar, it probably would have went higher. I was always under the impression that wild yeast would top out around 8-10% ABV, and that would be that. So again, thank you again, Jeb and Nassar, for bringing this particular
Method.
Thank
technique.
you. Thank you, because I'm not thinking any of those words at the moment, for making that suggestion to do this video. Again, I know there are some countries that, quite frankly, just can't get commercial yeast. Now, I'm not saying you should violate any laws of your particular country. However, if you want to find out if it works, yeah, it does. Okay, that having been said, Kinfolk from Georgia, Michelle, okay, crosstalk there. David Manyard, hi from Trinidad.
Thank you, Michelle.
I'm glad to see that we're getting worldwide coverage for my particular videos.
That is really cool.
Actually, it is. It is. Okay. All right, looks like we've got, okay. Now, having we got some of that out of the way, let's get into some of the more meatier aspects of why I'm particularly doing this live stream. I don't need this anymore, so I can turn that off. Okay. Uh, no, some of you may know her as Liz, was my very first subscriber. I can't remember how she found out my channel. I don't know if it was if she found it on YouTube, which would have been kind of difficult to believe, or if it was a Facebook post that I had done.
I think it was a Facebook
It had to have been a
post.
Facebook. That's the only way you would have found it
Mhm.
at that particular time. If you're ever starting a YouTube channel, let's just be honest, nobody knows you're there. Okay, you start telling friends, you can start making posts to some of the social media accounts to try and make yourself known, but by and large, nobody knows you're there. They don't really have them anymore, but back in the day,
Again, showing your age.
yes, that is true. They used to have telephone books. They used to deliver them every year, and they were big. And coming from Detroit, they were big, thick suckers. Okay, and in fact, they used to have two telephone books: one for just the local telephone numbers, and one for the business telephone numbers. Well, imagine if you're starting a YouTube channel and you've got one of the big, thick telephone numbers, and the font's got smaller and smaller each year, but it's basically akin to just opening the book at random, flipping through a couple of pages, and just picking one at random, and there you are. That's what it's kind of like when you first start a YouTube channel. Now, I'm not saying that's the same for everybody, because there's always those lucky few who get a viral video first off the bat, and they're off and running. But for the rest of us, it's a long, slow, hard journey to get to where we are. Um, let's see.
Namaste.
Okay, nomadic India. Nice to see you. Love from this India. Okay, getting a few from India, the country of India this time. That's pretty much how things started. Now, uh, I was going to ask at some point. Actually, I think I'd asked her once before, but just to make it more widely known, uh, what were your impressions when you first saw the fact that I had created a YouTube channel?
Um, I was um, I was surprised because you are not the you are not the most outgoing person, and you started this, and I saw it, and I thought, wow. And actually, the channel was the most that I had heard you speak in a long time. It's like getting words out of him. Really, it's like pulling teeth. It's really a difficult challenge. And for him to sit and speak for 15 minutes and smile, it was refreshing, actually. And so that was my very first impression.
Since I only have one mic, I'm going to add to that by simply saying that if I'm before I retired, if I started a new job, basically I'm kind of very quiet, very reserved because I don't know who the hell you are, okay? And it takes me a while to actually open up.
Several years.
Weeks. But once I'm comfortable and I am more familiar with my surroundings, then yeah, I could become quite honestly the life of my party. But just to give you just to give you an idea of what my very first live stream looked like, I had the opportunity to prepare my very first live stream, or starting with my very first thumbnail, looked like this. And I swear to God, I'm going to replace that thumbnail with something I've got two others that need
That
to be
is
replaced.
classic.
But this was my very first thumbnail. And my very first opening sequence to my very first video looked a lot like this. Hi, I'm Charles. In today's video, we will do an unboxing of a
I
brooding
don't know if they
mechanical
can.
fermenter. We'll see what's inside the box, we'll assemble it, and then we'll see how it looks in my kitchen. Now, since then, of course, times have changed, and most of my thumbnails will generally look something like this. A little bit more on the thumbnails in just a few minutes, but basically, I've settled on a more representative theme of what it is that I'm making, and a more kind of sort of realistic picture of me in the corner holding up whatever it is that I'm trying to make. But that having been said, my second video ended up looking a lot like this video. At the request of one of the channel's supporting members, I'm going to try an experiment. We're going to see what happens when we try and ferment 2 quarts of apple wine using a wild yeast starter that we created earlier. And in another 2-quart container, we're going to be using a commercial wine. Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to find out what happens using a hydrometer. Hi, I'm Charles, and welcome to DIY Fermentation, your site for doing fermentation on a shoestring budget. So yeah, it's getting a little better. And while we're on the subject of thumbnails, I'm going to add at least a couple of more thumbnails in the way of a progression, just so I can say a few things about it. Now, some of the thumbnails that I've done have been, well, I've been accused of being kind of suggestive in their meaning. Okay, when I posted this thumbnail on Facebook, some of my Facebook friends immediately jumped on it and kind of wondered about why I chose this particular image to do a thumbnail on. Some of the other thumbnails that I've done, again, when I decided to follow up the banana wine thumbnail with the mango wine thumbnail, I figured, why not? Why not just roll with it? So I ended up doing the mango wine thumbnail. There was one other that I was going to post on this live stream, but I decided, no, that one was kind of a little bit too suggestive. So I decided to leave that one alone. During the age of COVID, of course, when the walls began closing in on me, I started getting a little bit more, let's just say, time to reflect the times that I was going through, being locked up in my apartment because I couldn't go nowhere. I generally started to have a little bit more whimsical approach to some of my thumbnails. I can honestly say now, I'm all better now, okay? As you've seen in my thumbnails.
It just keeps getting worse.
Oh, let me get back to YouTube on the YouTube side of the equation. All right. Terry Collier's in the house.
Hey, Terry.
And Melendora, I love your thumbnails. Oh, really? Thank you. I try to keep it manicured, but thank you very much. Okay.
The reason that he keeps me around is because I'm the only one that gets his really, really, really bad sense of humor.
But again, getting back to the theme of the live stream, I used to be a very reserved, very private, very introverted sort of individual. Took me years to get out of that. During the live streams or during the very first video, just a little backstory on that. After I had retired, I caught that, Melodora. After I had retired, I started looking around for things to do because after a while, you just can't sit around the couch and watch TV all day. I had been doing some Java programming, doing apps or Android apps, but it became quite clear that it's an awful lot of work for very, very little return. So I decided to go around and looking for something else. In the process of thinking up things to do, I recalled a situation where we were having dinner over at Nono's house, and her children or her son had asked her son basically if he had considered the possibility of doing a YouTube or something else. And he was giving me his explanations as to why it was not a good fit for him at that time. And basically the conversation at the table moved on to another topic and so on and so forth. as I was thinking of something to replace the Android app aspect of it, I thought about that. And when it came down to trying to decide just what exactly to do uh, for an Android, for a YouTube channel, I began thinking about what my father had done at one point in time. Actually, he did it a couple of times. He was making, they used to have little kit wines, and he was trying to get into that. And he had done it several times, and he tried to, get me involved, or at least allow me to taste what he was making. And I never really thought much of it. I just figured, okay, Dad's doing his thing, and as long as he's happy, cool. Uh, so some 30, 40 odd years later, uh, I decided, well, let's see, why don't I give it a shot? I mean, if he tried it, I'll try it. He was also very avid into photography. I've already had a very good run in
Yes.
photography. If you've seen some of my early videos,
He is an excellent photographer.
in fact, there's one of my photos it's hanging over the mantle now, over the fireplace. My earlier videos, I used to stand in front of my photos. I've had exhibitions, I've had sales. I mean, I was okay. I was not bad. But when I decided to shift away from that, I still needed something else to do as a replacement hobby. So, okay, I'll give winemaking a shot. Now, when I first started making wine, it was as an example, it was in the original 2-quart juice containers. Okay, there was no airlock. There was nothing. It was basically juice, sugar, and water. Every now and then, I'll loosen the cap like that to let some of the CO2 escape. But after about 3 or 4 weeks, it's done. It's wine, and I would start consuming it. I mean, the alcohol was basically all there, and pretty much that was that. Uh, I decided after that to step up my game a little bit and to start buying earlocks. In this particular case, and you've seen me doing this on some of my earlier live streams, all I did was take the original cap, drill a hole in it, seal it up, put the airlock in, seal it up on both sides, and that's all I needed. That works just fine. In fact, this is the last one that I've got, but again, you can see it still works for this type of container. This particular wine was a date wine that I started January, February, March. Started back in April. It's actually clear enough now where I can really think about
Oh,
bottling.
yeah.
So, yeah, you don't need much to get started in your winemaking hobby, which is what I did. The hardest thing that I had to learn was about wine yeast, and when it really came down to it, uh, it's not that hard. Just pick one and learn the various aspects of that particular yeast, and then move on to the next one. Don't let that hold you up. If all you got is bread yeast, and you guys have heard me say this before, use it. It works. I've done it. I think in one of my very early videos on how to make wine, which I think was my second video. I ended up using bread yeast just to show that it can be done. Uh, as you progress from 2-quart containers to 1-gallon containers to uh, 1-gallon fermenters, I mean, this is nothing more than just a more stylish design of this. That's all it is. Uh, but again, as most hobbies, you can put into it as much or as little as you want. I've already talked about the fact that after you've mixed everything together and you put it aside, that there are several months, if not up to a year, of things that you need to do to continue the process. And I've made it quite clear that in my on my channel page, under playlists, under winemaking operations, there's all of the steps that you need to do following that. Which again is why you only see me in my videos doing the initial step, going into primary. I leave it to the playlist to describe the various rackings, the degassings, the pasteurization, the bottling, all of those things, which are the same for every other batch of wine that you make, which is why those ended up there as standalone videos. But again, that is how things initially started and how they kind of progressed through time. But again, let's see. Michelle Eastman.
Well, did you start your winemaking journey before you started the YouTube channel?
Only by a couple of weeks. Um, After I did my first batches of wine, and I won't say that they were sequential because they were all done at the same time. I started with a grape juice wine, uh, I'm sorry, a Concord grape juice wine, an apple wine, and a white grape juice wine. I'm not going to name any brand names because it's not really relevant. Um, but those were the first three that I started, and based on the results of those three batches, which were all done at the same time and were consumed basically within about a week or so of each other, I decided, okay, why don't I step up my game and get the fermenter, which was a birthday gift to myself, and take things on a more serious level. And that's when I started doing started the YouTube channel. I was still very early in the process, and if I can do it, why not show everybody else how I did it or how I'm doing it at the level that I'm at. And that having been said, the original plan was to make it a progression of my winemaking journey from very, very simplistic levels of winemaking to much more advanced levels. But when I started getting a little bit more advanced, I started getting comments from some of the viewers saying that things were getting a little too complicated and they liked it better when I kept things on a simplistic level. And as a result of that, that's where I kept things. That is the focus of this channel, keeping things at a very, very simplistic level. All right. Additional comments before we get back to No and see what she's thought about my channel since the very beginning. She's already talked about me being an introvert. Okay, so I accept that. I mean, I realize that. But while we're waiting for additional comments, can I do top chat or can I do? I think that's smaller. Nope, that didn't help. Nope, looks like I'm stuck with top chat. That's okay. Please feel free to chime in with questions and comments because even though there is a focus on the progression of this channel, I'm sure you all also have questions. Okay, after my channel had been out for a while, I mean, you kind of stuck with me. You were one of the first ones to make suggestions or offer corrections. I know when I did my very first live stream, much to the surprise of me, you were the first one on the phone telling me that you should have done this, and you need to say thank you more. You need to do that. What was your mindset in trying to offer me advice to make the channel much more of a success?
Well, I've always wanted you to succeed, and no matter what you did. I didn't want to come across as a know-it-all because this is your baby, and you know exactly what you need to do. Every once in a while, every once in a while I would see things that that I thought, maybe he hasn't noticed this, or maybe he isn't aware of how this comes across. And so I wanted to offer you just a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of constructive, and not so much criticism, but constructive advice.
Well, that having been said, she is correct because I can be pretty direct, sometimes abrupt, in my approach. I was kind of told that it probably had a lot to do with my computer programming background, because I do take things in a much more direct method, and it kind of bled over into the rest of my life. So it's sometimes difficult to soften things up a bit, to be understanding of the fact that most people might, if you know me, then you know me, and you pretty much understand it, and it's all cool. But if you don't know me, it might come across as being standoffish or rude or whatever. No, that's not the particular case at all. If if I point out the fact that, okay, I need to do things in this particular way in order to put an end to certain behaviors or certain practices that I don't want this channel to go into, then that's slightly different. But if you're, again, asking questions about a particular winemaking aspect of a recent video, that's something that happened about a year and a half ago or a year ago, because I've moved on since then, okay, then I'll try and answer it as best as I can. For the members, of course, I'm going to give you guys and girls a bit more leeway in terms of answering your questions. But hey, you're helping to support this channel, so that's the way it goes. Beard of Honey and Soul. Hi,
I love
DIY.
that name. I am loving that name.
Michelle Eastman, wow, really glad you started the channel. Has helped greatly as I investigate the winemaking journey. Again, I'm glad that I could assist you in that regard. I've got some more screens that I need to bring up. Did that. Don't need to do any of that. Once again, just in case it slips out, in terms of being an affiliate, I'm also current affiliates of Amazon, Canva, TubeBuddy, and to a lesser degree Walmart, which unfortunately, because they only approve me for being an affiliate for their food-related items, I don't use that one as much. And as such, I do receive a commission from anything that you purchase through the links that are readily available in the description and also now at the top of the comment sections below. They don't cost you anything, but again, it does help to support this channel when you go through the links, either to buy those items or something else not related to those items as well. That's a legal thing. I kind of have to sort of say that. Getting back to the main screen. Oh, speaking of which, membership. I don't know if I brought this up or not.
Yes, you did.
I did.
Yes, you did.
In that case, it does bear repeating. These are the current members who are currently helping support this channel. They've stuck with me for several months. I appreciate every single one of you. Everything that you've contributed has gone towards making this channel better. Actually, it's gone towards paying for this camera. Still have several more months to go. But basically, everything that you've done so far in terms of being a member, thank you very much. All right, main screen, there we go. Oh, YouTube screen.
Yes.
Okay, so we are caught up there.
Yep.
Okay, should be on 1 hour live stream. You guys are normally more talkative than this. Please feel free to chime on in. No, having been with this channel from the very beginning, has there been anything about this channel that you would like to see done differently?
Wow. I can't say differently. I think that as you grow and as you learn, you evolve. It's always it's a very natural evolution, and so I would hate to introduce something and have it go in a direction that it shouldn't. I think that this channel has grown organically, and I think that it's wonderful. And I think that if you continue to listen to your members and keep it on the level that makes them comfortable, I think that's a good thing. If at any time they want to grow, would you be interested in growing to another level of wine making and a more I don't want to say technical, but more advanced level of winemaking?
The question has come up previously, and the answer to that question is no. If I were to do something like that, I would do it as a third channel, which I have absolutely no interest in doing because, quite honestly, running a YouTube channel is a hell of a lot of work. Okay. Think of it as a full-time job, which is basically what it is. Uh, when the channel became monetized, it not only became a full-time job, it became a full-time business, which added new complexity to running a channel. I do have a secondary channel, which is a YouTube unboxing channel, where when I had the opportunity to buy something, okay, I generally will try and do an unboxing video just for that. It's not a primary channel. It's not monetized or anything like that. It's just something as an aside that I do from time to time. I mean, if I'm going to buy it, I may as well do a video on it. The last one that I did was not my washing machine. It wasn't my microphone. It was my camera.
No, it was the
No,
washing machine.
no, I did the camera lens after that. It wasn't much, but yeah, I did a camera.
Okay.
And no, just recently purchased, if you don't mind me saying, since it came up. She just recently purchased a new washing machine and dryer. Now, when it was brought to my attention that it had arrived, and I was looking at the photo of, she sent me a photo of what it was that she got. The very first thing that came to my mind, apart from the fact that letting her know that they looked shiny, was that, was that I asked her, was there a YouTube unboxing video? So I could see basically, okay, this is the boxes coming in. This is me in front of the boxes. This is me opening up the boxes. This is what the washing machine looks like. Let me do you a quick little 360 just so you can see what it looks like around. This is what it looks like on the inside. Got some buttons across the top. I was expecting all of that. I was expecting like an experience. But no, I didn't get that. All I got was a picture. So, some people...
Well, and as I say, the only reason that anyone sees me is because you very graciously asked me to do this. I Yeah, and yes, I am not big on being on camera. It is not my first love, and again, it's the reason that I am here, and the reason that I do help out is because he very graciously asked me to. And so if he ever decides that that's enough and he doesn't want me here anymore, I will very happily go home and sit in my living room and very quietly watch everyone else. So no, there will not be a unboxing of anything that I do with any business that I start. And I thought about it. I did consider doing a YouTube channel, and very quickly decided that that was not for me. But in anything that I do, it will not be in front of the camera.
RJ5, new to your channel and enjoy your content.
Yes,
Well, thank you for your clear explanation and simplistic way of sharing your passion of winemaking. I feel like I can do it now. It's not
you
that hard.
can.
You can, easily. Hard part is just waiting it out, which is really done. Shalisman at me. Would you consider having food pairings more often with your wine tastings in the future? Well, it depends on what No has decided in the way of food pairings. If it was up to me, I'd run in the kitchen and make a quick fried bologna sandwich, maybe throw some cheese on it, and, set it out on the plate, pick a wine to go with it, probably an apple wine, and call it a day, but
Neanderthal.
that's just me.
No, if he asks, then because I love to cook, and my home situation has changed very recently. My mom is here living with me now, and so I don't get to cook as many things as I would like to. And so if he wants me to come in and do some food pairings, I would love to. It gives me a chance to work my craft, and to see how well they pair up with your offering. So yes, I would love to do it. Yes, I will do it.
John Constantine, fellow member. Thank you very much, John, for being a member, helping support this channel. Wow, y'all matching now. Charles proposed the channel is going like
I never noticed that, but yes, we are matching, aren't we?
It was not planned at all.
It really was not.
I just got tired of my usual wardrobe selections, so I decided, okay, this time I'll just be simple and wear simple black. I am matching. I do have black pants and black socks on, so that's just me at the moment.
And thank you guys. All of you make me feel so very welcome. And that is amazing. It really is, because when I see myself on the video, I look at myself and go, "Oh my God, it's terrible." But you guys are so welcoming and so kind, and you make me feel good. So I thank you very much.
Now, when I get on camera, I try and convince myself that it's not me you're looking at, it's what I've got to say. Okay, so I can come up here dressed however, and get my point across. But again, I've got like a standard outfit. Being retired and you don't have to go to work, you don't have to worry about changing clothes every day of the week. I've got like one outfit that I wear all the time. It's my daily attire. Okay, it's a pair of gray pants and my brown long sleeve, kind of heavy long sleeve shirt. I can't wear it now because we're summertime, and that's more of a late fall, winter, early spring daily attire. But again, it's not me. It's what I've got to say that brings you guys here time and time again.
A rosehip wine cold chicken sandwich. Now, the rosehip wine would probably take, you don't have a rosehip wine that's brewing at the moment, do you?
Nope.
So it would take a while. But actually that cold chicken sandwich, I make an excellent roast chicken. But that would be good. And I could make the bread. Yeah, I could do that. I could do that.
In case anybody caught that, there's only a few of you guys here. In case you're wondering what's in this container, it's a combination of lemon heads, Mike and Ike extra sour or sour Mike and Ike's, all mixed up in the same container. So it's just a question of a smorgasbord of what it is to keep my mouth watered since my Hawaiian punch got consumed by my guests here. But okay.
But no, with any of the wines that you have now, anything that's ready, if you tell me what it is, then I can come up with something new to go with it. And if it's, if you've got a dessert wine out there, I've got several desserts that I would like to try, and so we can see what we can do.
I've got a couple that are getting close. That last tasting video I did on that peach wine, that would have been kind of difficult because of the flavor was just so faint. I'll put it to you that way.
William Fleming, that is an excellent question. That is an excellent question. What do you have up your sleeve to keep things interesting?
Yeah, William, you're right. Once you've gone through most of the fruits that you see at the grocery store, or most of the frozen fruits that you see at the grocery store, the wild yeast was kind of an attempt to fill a little bit of that void. I do have several other concepts that I'm working on. I think the next time we go to that international grocery store, I probably will get either the cactus
pears.
Cactus pears and try and make a wine out of that. It's just a question of knowing how much of it to get, since they've got it in stock, seems like constantly. There are a few meads that I want to try as well. But you're right. I pretty much run the gamut on some of the core wines and some of the core meads, the simple ones that are out there. Uh, Things do have to get a bit more interesting, more diverse to keep the channel alive. I don't want to find myself pretty much stuck in kind of the same rut that I've seen on some other channels, trying to do some of the things that they've done. I like trying to do things a little bit differently if possible. No, I'm not following other channels to see what they've done, and then I'll do the same thing. I want to be far more diverse than that. But yeah, it's a thought on my mind. Again, this channel, having made it this far with the resources that are available, there's still actually a number of things that are still on my content calendar that I need to get through. I think one of the ones that are coming up more recently will be coming up sooner. I still have 2 more items, I think, on my top 5 fan favorites. One was a maple mead, maple syrup mead. I think I might want to give that one a shot. And there was another, the dandelion wine was also the last of the top 5 fan favorites that I need to get through as well. More than likely, I probably will do the dandelions first. I just need to get the dry dandelion flowers off Amazon. Probably towards the end of this month or beginnings of next month for that. But until then, I'll probably keep things pretty simple, pretty light this particular month.
Now, there are some very good questions. So if you can scroll back.
Please feel free.
Well, no, because I'll mess everything up.
No, you won't.
Okay. So, Beard of Honey and Salt. I am just loving that name. Did a banana wine in June and was asking how. Now, I tasted the banana wine. It was dry and it had the taste of the tannin. And I think that overwhelmed the taste of the banana. It tasted like the pith of a banana peel. So it wasn't bad. It was not my favorite.
Trying to remember if that was a 9-month or a 12-month tasting. I know we did. That was part of the 4.
That was a part of the 4. And no, that was more. Those were more than 12. The shortest one was a 12-month on that one. So that wine was at least 12 months
minimum. Again, with banana wines, when I did some follow-up research, that's more of a longer-term project, like 16 months before that's actually considered more or less ready to drink. So we're going to give that one another shot at about 16 months, just to see what the all of the hubbub about banana wines are. But at 12 months, I was not that impressed.
Yeah.
So again, the jury's still out on that one.
Now, David Maynard tried a 48-hour wine yeast. I've never heard of a 48, but I'm new to this. Have you heard of a 48-hour wine yeast?
There are wine yeast that are supposed to be super quick. You'll never see that being done here on this channel, but okay. And he was saying,
should he wait the 21-day period before transferring? I am very old-fashioned, and again, I know so little about winemaking, only what I've learned from this channel. What I do know is that anything that's worth doing is worth doing well. And a 48-hour yeast sounds like you're rushing things. You'll get something out of it, I suppose. And, again, because I don't know, it's not my expertise. I make vanilla. I make my own vanilla. And there's a way to do it where it is done in a couple of weeks. And there's a way to do it where it takes several months, up to a year or two, depending on what you're going for. I found that waiting, it gives you not only a more sense of satisfaction, but it gives you a better product. Uh, and again, I understand, sometimes you want to get things done quickly, and I don't want to disparage that, but you know, if you're gonna do it, you know, do it, yeah, do it over the long term. Invest the time. And should he wait out the 21-day period before transferring? Um, I'm sorry. I apologize if that sounded awful. I really do. Throwing my 2 cents in there. I'm going to sit down now.
All right, David, from the channel side, basically, No gave you pretty much the appropriate response to that particular question. My response to that particular question is basically this. One, we don't use that sort of yeast on this particular channel. And the fact that you've tried it, there's no reason for you to truthfully expect an answer from this channel with regards to that yeast and how it's properly used. All right. For questions like that, you really need to redirect those to some of the more advanced winemaking channels that might be more familiar with that particular type of yeast. I don't mind seeing questions like that in the comment section because it might help or might give some ideas to some of the more novices who are ready to make a step up above and beyond this channel. But I will not and cannot really give you an answer for that type of question because that's not the type of yeast that we currently use here on this channel. Wild yeast, red yeast, some commercial yeast, basically Red Star, which is what I started with and will probably continue to use. Things that I've done on this channel are those types of questions that I can give you answers on. Things that have not been done on this channel, I really can't help you with that because, again, I don't have the expertise in doing that. Again, I am not a professional winemaker, okay? I'm just a novice. I've only been making wines for about a year and a half now. And that's pretty much where, or the level or approach in which this channel is trying to address questions. So I'm not mad at you or anything like that. I'm just simply saying that if you are looking for answers to that type of questions, then you might want to try a different channel that's more, can give you more assistance and give you a proper answer.
Michelle is asking, would we consider doing a pre-holiday special, Thanksgiving with a possible pairing for traditional dishes?
Now, I should point out that she's not asking us, she's asking you.
No, 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 no.
It says at no, which means...
And you see that ampersand there?
I see. A pre-holiday special, possible pairings for your traditional. Even introducing a new take on a dish or even a new wine. The only thing I can think of off the top of my head, Michelle, is that, and I really haven't seen, when I looked at it last year, kind of trying to do looking at who's done a pumpkin-based wine, whether or not they've had any real success on doing one or getting one successful, and I wasn't really pleased at the results that I was seeing at the time. I haven't really focused or given much thought to doing a themed wine on the upcoming holiday season. I ought to. I know by that time some of the cranberry wines that I've done will be ready.
Ooh, that might be good.
Oh, by the way, yeah, I opened up one of those cranberry wines.
No, I tasted it.
Oh,
I
that's
liked
right.
the cranberry.
Yeah.
The cranberry was very good. And if it's up to you, if you would like to do something like that, just let me know, and I will be here to support.
David Neighbors, maybe you could do a video on blending wines. I combined a Cabernet with a blackberry and it was awesome. Not yet there, David, in terms of blending wines, but the only closest I've come to blending wines was blending the 2 wild yeast apple juice wines that I did 1 week apart. No, I haven't really gotten there yet. I won't say that it's too advanced for this channel. It's something that I just haven't had really the time to do as far as putting together a video. I'll give it some thought. David Constantine.
No. Go back up.
Really?
Crystal Gross.
Oh, really? Okay. Hi, Charles and Mrs. No. Speaking of candy, will you even do a candy-inspired wine? Nope, not thinking about one.
I would have no idea of where to even start. And I mean, and I mean, this is your thing, so I would have no idea where to even start something like that.
Nope, sorry, Crystal. Really haven't given that one any thought whatsoever. I'm not saying that it won't be done, but I'm just simply saying that I really haven't given it much thought. It would be so far down the list of things that I need to do on my content calendar for producing products for this channel that I just haven't given that one much thought. John Constantine, fellow member, could you make a hard seltzer or a White Claw clone? Don't know what a White Claw is, John. Hard seltzer? Nope. I haven't really given that one any thought either because I haven't done any type of sparkling wines on purpose yet. So that's just way down there on the list of things to do. Sorry about that one.
I heard something on White Claw and I'm trying to recall it. A hard seltzer. White Claw is a hard seltzer.
Okay. Let's see. White Claw, hard seltzer. Okay, comes in a can. What kind of alcohol is White Claw? Pure dash of alcohol. It's not helping much anything. It's not saying what it is. If it's
it's a seltzer and it's mixed with alcohol and
well, that would make it a fortified wine at best. So I don't know about that. Neither. It's made of blend of salsa water, gluten-free alcohol base. It's a gluten-free alcohol base and a hint of, that tells you nothing.
We would have to do, or you would have to do a little bit more research on that. But actually,
here it is. White Claw is a flavored malt beverage. It's made with a blend of salsa water, gluten-free. Well, that's just the same thing. I guess alcohol could be wine, but still. Nope, not really giving that one much thought, John.
And again, a couple of days ago, I was watching another YouTuber that I subscribe to. Oh. Yes, you are not the only one. Yes.
Is he any good?
Actually, he's very good. So I'll give him if you don't mind, a little shout out. It's How to Drink. Greg on How to Drink, and I love him. And he did a video on hard seltzers, which I thought was incredibly interesting. And so when you said White Claw, it's like I remember that. And yes, it was very interesting. So if that's something that you want to, he's run away from me. It's gotten dark in here because he's turned the lights around. Is everything okay?
Well, it was putting off the top of my head, so I figured I'd put myself back in frame. Okay.
We didn't need to see more than the top of. We saw the important parts. So anyway, yes. If you wanted to do something with a hard seltzer, that would be interesting. It would be something that you haven't done before.
Okay, William Fleming. Okay. Any plans to collaborate with any other channels? Currently working in a collaboration being hosted by Man-Made Mead and Doing the Most, along with several other mead makers as well, doing a collaboration project, which we started about a month or so ago. Just off the top of my head, and now that I've said this, I'll have links to each and every one of the channels that are involved. Again, doing the most, Man-Made Mead, Hanging with Hodge. Wow, I just drew a blank here.
Old age.
Possibly. Yeah, I've drawn a blank. But then again, I'll have links to all of the participants. They're basically up and coming Mead channels that could also use user support. So at the conclusion of this video, hour or so, I'll have a link to all of these other mead makers that you can take a good look at and see how they are approaching the aspects of creating a YouTube channel in this particular genre or niche of mead makings. But again, there we go. Legendary Drew is in the house.
Hey, Drew.
Terry Collier, last time I made a sparkling wine, found myself cleaning. Yeah, fully understood, Legendary. I know that. Terry, I understand that. You pronounce it
Eight nuts.
eight nuts.
I love it.
White Claw Clown would be pretty simple to make. You would take corn, sugar, water, and yeast. Most people use yeast nutrients because yeast tends to stall, and then add flavoring and bottling.
Is it a fermented drink? And I think that would probably
It would be if you're adding corn, sugar, and yeast. That
Okay.
pretty much says that. All right. William Fleming, exciting big fan of Man-Made Mead and doing the most.
Cool. So once that comes out, we'll be letting you know, or he'll be letting you know.
Yeah, I'm not. Even though I did a video on my participation in that, that won't come out until after the collaborative effort is concluded. Just to keep things on the up and up. But it's kind of an oddity. It's a mead. I'll simply say that, using a couple of ingredients that normally I would not do. In fact, one of the ingredients I made it quite clear I would not do on this channel, but boom, it was one of the three main ingredients, so I kind of had to do it. So you'll see that sometime down the future. What's that from Bernadette?
Yes, a first-time winemaker and learned so much from the channel. Thank you. Peach wine for the first time. Did I taste your peach wine?
You did not. That was the one I did before I did the wild yeast video.
Okay.
There was I thought I was going to do one on mango, a 12-month mango, but then I realized that I didn't have any mango bottles left, so I ended up doing a peach wine. I actually called it mango at one point.
Yes, you kept calling. I remember that you kept calling it mango, and then you corrected yourself.
I actually did that first scene thinking it was a mango wine, and then realized, no, that's a peach, not a mango. And then I had to refilm that particular scene and still end up inserting mango in it. And I decided, you know what, I'm just going to press on and move forward. I wasn't going to clean that up. Yeah, the peach wine ended up having a very, very light flavor. The only changes that I would make to the original recipe was that I probably would use half the amount of lemon juice that I used, which was acting as my citrus blend substitute. And I put in a lot of peaches, but probably more peaches as well, just to try and give it some more of that peach flavor. I'm told that you can add peaches in secondary, but again, adding fruit in secondary is something that this channel isn't really going to go into. It's more of those more advanced techniques that I think other channels can more properly address. Again, keeping things on a very, very simplistic level. Yeah, I know, William. And then I'm going to back up to ones that I just missed.
So David Neighbors was taught to make wine by an old Italian man. That must have been really cool. That must have been really cool.
And when it's all said and done, the best wine you can make, sorry, the best wine you can drink is the one you like. You're right.
Yes.
I made, and I'm going to change that because I am off center. It's the camera's pointed more at no. I think I'm the star of the show here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, of the wines that I've made, and I still need to do a whoa, what
Did
was
you
that?
just turn it off?
No,
Yes.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
It is not.
It's entering power save mode.
Reset the camera.
Because you had to be seen.
There you go. It's on.
Pick up the light.
Okay. Well, that's
Thank you.
OBS.
And they could still hear us.
Okay. I was watching. Let me get back over to. Okay, just double checking. I was watching a live stream from Nick Neiman over in his channel earlier today, and basically he focuses on people who are starting up YouTube channels and giving advice and so on and so forth. And I only watched it for like half an hour. And one of the things that he said is that something that I've run across a couple of times myself. During a live stream, things happen. Okay, whether you lose audio, whether you lose video, I mean, they're just out of nowhere. Things happen.
He was feeling a little jealous because the camera was focusing on me.
Okay, as I was saying, let me see. Burnett.
So there are a couple of the.
No, I want to make sure. Okay, caught the one from David.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. I was simply saying with regards to David's question was that, yeah, there are some wines that I've made which I'm definitely planning on making again.
Yes.
There's some wines that No has liked that definitely will be made again. There are some wines which, quite honestly, I have no plans whatsoever to make again. And at some point, I'm going to have a list of the top 5 or 6 and the bottom 5 or 6, just so that everyone understands my take on that. Which also kind of follows into Deborah Goodman's questions: what tastes better, wine or mead?
I don't think I've ever tasted any of your mead.
One that the very first mead that I made, the very basic one.
Did I taste it?
Yes, you did.
I don't remember.
And you liked it. Yeah, my very first mead started to come of age. I think we had it at the 9-month mark-ish. And we both liked it. I know I did a 6-month tasting of, I did do a 6-month tasting of that mead. And I was, I didn't see what all of the, what the bother was for doing meads, if that's what it tasted like at 6 months. But at the 9-month mark, it tasted a whole lot better. So at 12 months, which is the next time we're going to open up one of those bottles, I'm expecting pretty good results. Actually, it was worth the effort to do that initial mead. And it basically was nothing more than honey, water, a couple of raisins thrown in. Excuse me. A couple of raisins thrown in, and that was it. I've done about a dozen or so different meads since then. You can find all of the meads that I have done in my on the channel page, under playlists, under meads, and you'll see all the ones that I've done.
So and I'm sorry, I don't remember, and it could be because I'm getting old. So I can't say if I like the meads better because I guess I've only tasted one. I am looking forward to one that he did. I think you did for me, the elderflower. Was that one for me?
Yes, it was
Yes,
for you.
thank you.
Actually, both the wine, the elderflower wine, and the elderflower mead were done for No.
So I'm looking forward to those, and once I taste those, then I can make a better comparison of what I which one I like more.
Bernadette,
Oh, thank you.
we didn't see that probably because of the technical issue that we
No,
had.
no, that was a while ago. I saw it. We just
I
kind of.
missed it. You should have spoke up.
I'm
Bernadette
sorry.
Gamble, thank you very much for
Thank
that
you.
super chat. There is no amount too small. Everything is definitely appreciative. On that line, again, super chats can be had for as little as 99 cents. Just slide the little dollar slider off to the left, to the lowest amount. And again, everything is gratefully appreciated. Thank you very much. I thought I saw it because I saw the chat revenue.
Yeah.
That having been said, we are getting behind here.
Yes, we are.
Okay, did all that. Did we miss anything before that?
Okay.
I was going to address Williams. Yeah, never say never, Charles. Yeah, I learned that earlier. When I say that I'm never going to make a particular video and end up making that particular type of video. I think the carrot wine was the first one that came to mind that I said I would never make again. A corn-based wine / mead is one that I said that I would never make again or never make, and I'll just simply say that's currently in the works. There are some that I say that I'm never going to do, and then several weeks or several months later I end up doing. So yeah, I never say never again myself. Timothy Smith, raspberry mead going along right now. Okay. All right. It's on. I can see you there. Thank you, Terry, for that laugh. Appreciate that. Okay. Shelley Smith, no, you're still okay. Vanity. Jeff, you're right. Sometimes you just got to be seen. All right. Obviously, you're like
Liked it.
no,
No
no.
insult. I am sorry, darling.
All right, William Fleming. Neither of y'all are old. Think about getting older. William, is that if you're not there yourself, is that you never really you never think of yourself as being old.
Yes.
Your mind is always telling you that you're young. It's your body that's telling you, no, it ain't gonna happen.
Standing up and hearing noises that you never heard before.
Yeah,
The creaking of your bones.
when you're young and you fall, it's no big deal. You get up, dust yourself off, and you go do it again. When you're old, you got to think about whether or not you broke. That sort of thing. All right. My oldest mead is a Joe's Ancient Orange Mead, which I've seen around a lot. I haven't done one yet. It's 3 years old.
Wow.
My only concern with having a wine or a mead that's that old is that since I'm not using sulfites as a preservative, I'm simply relying on pasteurization. Whether or not I can get something that's going to stay bottle stable for that length of time. With pasteurization, the only thing that you really lose is that, well, let me rephrase that. With sulfites, the only thing that you gain is that it reduces the amount of oxidation that can occur over time with your wine. With pasteurization, you don't get that oxidation reduction that you normally would get. I mean, it's still a safe product. I mean, as far as killing yeast and bacteria that might have survived, but 3 years, I don't know if I want to take it that far just yet. Besides, I haven't been doing this for 3 years yet, so I don't know. But that's my thought on that. The black cherry was delicious. That black cherry, Deborah, was good. That still ranks as one of my favorites.
Yeah.
That's definitely in the top 5 for sure. William Fleming, these live streams are so fun. Love the community you're building here.
Thank you.
It's a small community. I wish it were bigger, but you make do with what you got. All right. Seems to have caught up. Hopefully, didn't miss anyone there. Time what? Actually went over.
Yes, we went over just a little bit.
What's your time like?
I've got to get home.
Okay. We're going to give this 10 more minutes, and then Nolo's got to run, and then I've got to clean all this up, put it back in order, get on with my life. Don't currently have anything planned immediately for my next video. The live stream was basically it. I might try and come up with something for next week. I haven't really given it much thought. Really, it's just a question of just picking something off the content calendar and getting it done. But I just really haven't gotten it done yet. For whatever reason, I did a peach wine video about a year ago, and for the past couple of days, it's gone kind of like mini viral. It's one of my older videos. It's I don't quite understand why it started to go viral, but it's gotten a couple of thousand views over the past few days, so I'm not complaining about that because that's ad revenue that definitely is being helpful. But no, I'm not really pushing things anymore. I might do another tasting video just to fill the gap. There's not really going to be a mid-month live stream. I'm not really planning on that for quite a while. But we'll have to see how it goes.
Okay, couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
Cucumber wine has been
Seen that one
mentioned a
before.
couple of times.
I wouldn't say a couple of times.
No, in this, I've been watching the chat. You haven't. There has been chat about cucumber wine.
It seems relatively inexpensive.
Yes.
I will do the research and find out
Yes.
recipes on making a cucumber wine. And it's not just a question of finding a recipe, it's finding a recipe that can be modified to fit the natural theme for this particular channel. But if I'm seeing some chat, I actually didn't see it, I saw Valerie. But if chat is being seen about making a cucumber wine, then I'll look into it. And if nothing else, I'll simply add it to the content calendar, and at some point it will get done. I'm looking at
Cool.
Coach Spray. Well, David, first of all, I'm glad I could be helpful there. Legendary Drew, okay. William Fleming. Charles, any plans to convince any of your other family friends to join you in this crazy journey? Nothing full time. Last live stream, you saw my daughter, so that was about that. Kicking around the idea of having some friends from my old job coming in, either Derek or Rabin. I need to get in touch with them to find out what they're doing these days. We can do a round robin taste testing for that.
Thank you, Valerie.
But nothing in terms of having a permanent presence on this channel. The only permanent presence that's developed has been No. But even still, live streams, she likes that. Some of the making of the wines and meads, she likes that. But her time is such that I don't think she's really available.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
these
going
days.
to get tight.
Yeah, I know.
Very tight.
I know.
But there was something that I thought was a decent idea, and it's up to you. But Michelle had that idea.
Michelle Eastman, she's saying at William Fleming, community building, which they would host a Zoom style session so we can drink alone with our own brews. I have no idea really how to set that up.
That actually setting up the Zoom session is not difficult.
Yeah, but getting it so that I can record the Zoom session.
Oh, recording the Zoom session isn't difficult.
I haven't really looked into it. I guess I could. I don't know if I would.
And just a thought. It would not necessarily have to be recorded. If we are, it depends on how well you want to build the community, and maybe we should discuss it offline. But how well you want to build the community, but have a small community meeting with the members.
Yeah, it definitely would have to be a members type deal. I
Yeah.
can see that. A general public type of Zoom set, that's not
Yeah.
feasible.
But a members session with, the faithful few who join us all the time, and, sit down and have a drink of what you've made and what they've made, and everybody sit down and talk about what they're doing.
Now that's a very good idea. I've been kind of kicking around the idea of having a members only type of session. I was kind of put off because very early on, I wasn't getting an appropriate response for the members only live streams. But then it was like 3 or 4 members at that time, so it wasn't feasible anyway. But having a multi-member Zoom style session for members, I see that as a good thing for membership.
That I would love to do that.
I'll kick that one around, give it some thought this month, see what comes up, kick some feelers out in the community session for members, and see what you guys have to say about that. But that would also mean that Michelle would have to become a member. This is for both YouTube membership and also Patreon membership as well.
See, I'm there to help. Listen to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Consider it something that will be done.
And David, your 24-hour yeast, good luck. We don't know how that works. I'm hoping that everything turns out okay. And if you find that it doesn't taste to your liking, try that longer method.
Now, the 24-hour yeast thing is not totally unknown to me, David. I mean, it's a winemaking channel. You tend to run across these sorts of things. I've seen a couple of YouTube videos, not really that I've focused in heavily on it, just that kind of a curiosity type of thing, just mildly curious. So I know they're out there, but I just don't see myself as using this channel to promote that, sort of speeding up the process aspect. And really, if I think about it, this is just off the top of my head. Okay, fine. Your yeast is now fermented out within 24 hours, as opposed to 2 or 3 weeks or so. Okay, you still have the process, unless they're your taste buds. It's entirely up to you. The alcohol will be there, but the taste is what develops through aging.
Yeah.
Again, some of my earlier videos I've talked about the malolactic acid converting into
malic acid converting to lactic acid.
Thank you very much. Which helps to mellow out the flavor, makes it all worthwhile, which, the aging process is all for that. And there's still the clarification, getting all of the yeast and whether other sediments to settle down to clarify the wine. Unless you're using clarifying agents like sparkaloid or bentonite or using filters and things like that, again, which are not aspects of this particular channel, there's really no way to rush it. If you want something quick and simple, regardless of what it tastes like, if it tastes okay to you, then that's all that really matters. I'm just simply saying I'm of the opinion that you just need to wait it out. And for me, 12 months is what I consider to be the sweet spot for me in terms of waiting it out. Okay, all right. All right, we're going to end this. Bernadette, I'm assuming that we're trying to spell new future member. But you got it in and we understand.
Love to have you.
All right. This live stream went on a good 30 minutes longer than I planned. It's going to take YouTube a while to process this particular live stream for your review. The comments I've learned in the live stream, the chats, those usually take about a day before live stream posts those. So it'll be at least a day or two before you can actually replay this video and see the chats that have occurred with it. You can see the live stream replay relatively quickly, but responding to the chats, or rather seeing the chats, will take just a little bit longer. Again, for those of you who have joined us, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
That's what the first of the month live streams are for, to get to know you guys a little, guys and girls, a little bit better, to have a one-on-one interaction with you all, so you can find out where things are going, where things have been. Again, thank you to No for having stopped by again for the live streams. Super chats, for those of you who partook, again, those are gratefully appreciative. Memberships, again, will always be gratefully appreciative. The channel is growing. I do expect to hit the 10,000 member mark, subscriber mark. 10,000 members would be great, but 10,000 subscriber mark sometime in November, where the channel is growing with your participation. As long as I'm continuing to put out content that you all seem to like, then I will continue to do so, at least for the next year, maybe two. Well, let's see how that goes. And with that, I'll read one last Bernadette, don't worry about it. When I'm on the keyboard, I simply rely on spell check to correct me, to highlight it or underline it in red so I can backtrack and right click and pick the appropriate word. Don't sweat it. That's one of the bad things about the modern age. It didn't used to be that way, but that's the way things are now. So again, I want to thank you all for stopping by. Appreciate it. And I will see you next month, or if you've got comments, in the next video. So with that, good night.